Hello YouTube, I'm trying to do this on my iPhone. I just got an iPhone. I'm answering a question from Fatimasadrcity. Who posted a question. What do I think the effect of the internet is on mainstream LDS culture? First of all, well, I think it's hard to say, but I imagine it's about the same effect that the internet's had on everybody else in the world, and that they're all getting more interconnected and more sharing of ideas, and so whatever ideas they were sharing before, they're just sharing them slightly faster and with probably a number of more people, but so I'm not sure that it will change things a lot from where they're at. I guess it would depend on in what respect. But that might be the second part of the question, where Fatima asked, are people leaving the LDS church and joining fundamentalist churches? I can speak to my experience in the 90s, and there was a number of us in the 90s that did leave the LDS church, and we were looking for, something that was closer to the original teachings of the prophet Joseph Smith, and mostly in anticipation of the end of the world, of course, or the second coming of Christ, which would be, as we reckoned, about the year 2000. So in the anticipation of that coming up, a lot of us felt the Mormon church wasn't, the LDS church wasn't in the right place, so, spiritually, that they didn't have time to get to that point. So a lot of us, there was a movement in the 90s where a lot of people, some people, I wouldn't say a lot, but some people did leave the Mormon church, the LDS mainstream church, and join fundamentalist groups. Now, the problem with that is that, now, for instance, I joined the True and Living Church of Jesus Christ of Saints of the Last Days, or the TLC Church in Manti with Jim Harmston, and the problem there is that a lot of us did join that fundamentalist church, but we didn't stay. The turnover is so high in some of these smaller Mormon, fundamentalist groups, that even if people do quit the LDS mainstream church and join them, pretty soon they're gone, and they're either off to the Mormon church again, or they've gone off and joined, some other fundamentalist group, or even in my case, I didn't go back to fundamentalism or even to any other church. So I'm not sure that you could say that people are leaving the LDS church for fundamentalist churches on a permanent basis. I think you have to even look at the LDS church. I know they have trouble with retention as well, because I was a Mormon missionary for a while in Taiwan in the 90s, and I served a year and a half, and we had a lot of people that would join the church because the missionaries were their friends, and if the missionaries buddy up to the investigators and get them to join the church, that's great, but as soon as the missionaries leave, a lot of the investigators, the people that just joined, will leave also, and they won't stay in the church. And in fact, the church even talked to the missionaries about this problem and how to try to get them to know the members more, so that when we left, they wouldn't just leave the church. This whole thing of, how many people joined a church or left a church, a lot of people may join, but are they still active in this church? Are they still considering themselves members of this church? I'm sure the True and Living Church in Manti thinks it has a lot of members, or maybe not, because maybe it doesn't consider after you leave, if they don't see you for a few months, they probably figure you're not in the church anymore. But the LDS church, unless you die, still count you, I think. But Alright, it's been a while since I posted, but that's all for now. I'm off to Salt Lake City for my vacation for a couple weeks. Bye.